NASA had this problem. They came to two authors, two doctors, Dr. George Land and Dr. Beth Jarman, who wrote this book, to ask them, can you develop a divergent thinking test that allows us to kind of filter down or winnow down our applications to the ones that are truly creative? And they came up with a test. It basically measures creativity genius level, they call it. And among 280,000 adults, average age 31, 2% were genius level in the sort of divergent thinking test. He had the foresight, George Land did, because it was such a simple test, to test 4- and 5-year-olds, and 1,600 of them to boot. And 98% of them were genius level creatives. Thankfully, it was a longitudinal study, and they tested them again 5 years later. 10-year-olds had 30%, 15-year-olds 12%. So there's something going on with how we educate creativity, I think, out of students. That kind of proves it. And I think it has to do a little bit with how we think of education nowadays. It is a very linear path. We, as Ken Robinson said, we kind of separate kids by date of manufacture. And we put 5-year-olds and 6-year-olds and 7-year-olds, in certain groups. But we know, anyone that's had kids, they know 2 5-year-olds are radically different from each other. And this is all based on a kind of industrial age economic model, assembly line model. Being a designer, though, I find that the journey looks a little more like this. This is what's called a wicked problem. It's a problem that's difficult or impossible to solve because of incomplete, contradictory, and with changing requirements that are often difficult to recognize. First time I read that, I'm like, my God, that sounds like my students. They are often coming to me like, there's no clear answer. It's like, that's it. You're in the middle of this. If you want to think of it, your first year starts here. Your first year is a very messy, wicked problem. And that's okay. That's how design is. That's how any artistic form is.